Hey guys, welcome to let me get this camera situated here. All right, welcome to another episode of Q&A with Armen. And I was training legs today, and I was kind of had legs on my mind. I had a question come in earlier about calves, like how do you train calves? Like how do you get them to grow? A lot of people have problems with making their calves grow. It's not an easy thing. Calves, for some reason, aren't very responsive. So there's a couple of things. So one thing that you really can't get away from is genetics. Like your calves are very much responsive to your genetics. I mean, a lot of things in your body are. Calves aren't like the only thing, but calves seem to just really be high genetic component to that body part. So, and you'll see people that they'll say they'll never work calves and they have great calves. So that doesn't really help you at all. Like if you're a person that genetically doesn't have great calves, it doesn't tell you, anything. If someone says, I have genetically good calves. Okay, well, thanks. I don't. So what am I supposed to do, right? So there's a couple of things, right? So a lot of people work with a lot of repetition on their calves. And while repetition has benefit, keep in mind that your calves are constantly in repetition. So, and what do I mean by when I say that? Well, whenever you walk, you're using your calves. Let's hope that you do a decent amount of walking throughout the day, right? Every step that you take, you can see Eva, she's over here taking steps right there. If you can see her. Yep, she just took a few steps. So every time Eva, or Eva for my American listeners, every time Eva takes a step, she does a rep in her calves. Human beings are the same way. No different than my dog over here. Every time you take a step, that's a rep for your calves. So going to the gym and busting out 1,000 reps in your calves has very little benefit as far as muscle mass, right? So now if you're doing like performance, you're a football player, you're in combat sports, you need something else going on with your calves that has nothing to do with its size or muscularity, then that's a different story. Then we're talking about a different situation. But if you're just talking about 100% growth, don't focus so much on repetition. And I hate saying don't do it at all because there's some benefit to everything, right? So don't eliminate it, but don't focus strictly on repetition because repetition is not going to make your calves grow. You're constantly walking, and if your calves are the same size they've always been, doing more repetitions is not gonna benefit you. So what do? Well, in short, heavy weight. Try to get the weight heavier than your body. Now, the reason I say that is the same concept as when you're walking. When you're walking, you're constantly carrying your own weight. So going to the gym and carrying your weight again doesn't make your body change. It doesn't make your calves grow. It doesn't really do much of anything. So maybe it'll create some density, but in reality, it's not going to get you where you want to be. So definitely make sure that the weight is higher than your body weight. Now, how much higher? That depends on your strength level. Pick a point where it feels nice and tough, but you can still get it up, and then increase as you go, just like any other exercise. So there's no difference there, but just make sure that it's higher than your body weight, and you should be able to do that because you're carrying your own body weight all the time. So that shouldn't be a problem. And then make sure that you move slow through the repetition. Again, not the pumping kind of exercise, but just slowly up, and then midway, hold it, down, hold it, and then again all the way up, hold it there, midway, and down, and all the way up again. Now, some machines won't let you do that, especially if you're getting off the floor. So you do need like some kind of stepping situation there, like whether you're doing it on a box or whether you have a machine that that you can adjust the weight. Make sure that it's one of those where you can go lower than the platform. So that really helps. And make sure you pause. The pausing really strengthens your calf, and what I found to be really helps it grow. Now, I have good calves, and they are, genetic. I feel like they are. However, I work a lot on my calves too. So it's probably partially genetic. A lot of it is probably hard work. I've been working on my calves for many years. So I have very good calves. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but let me tell you guys, if you want good calves, doing the same thing that you do when you're just out and about is not going to help you. Don't think just because you're going to the gym and you're in a gym scenario, doing the same things is going to somehow make you grow. No, you have to adjust. You have to adjust your training. And the only way you can do it is, again, stop doing repetitive movements. It's not a volume exercise. Keep the weights high and pause at each level. So at a higher level, pause, at a mid-level, pause, a lower level, pause. It doesn't have to be a long pause. I mean, I'm not talking about hold it there for a minute, 10 seconds, hold it for 10 seconds, then go up. Trust me, you're gonna feel it in your calf. Another very important point that a lot of people tend to forget. If your feet start hurting, stop. Stop, don't push it. It's not one of those exercises where I'm having a pump, my arms are filled up with lactic acid, I'm gonna push through, it's better. Yes, in those cases it's better. But when your feet are hurting, stop, because at that point, you're not really working your calves, you're hurting your feet. Everything just falls apart. So if you get to a point where your feet start to hurt, don't continue on with the exercise, just cut it there. You've probably done enough. If you're at the point where your feet are hurting, you've probably done enough. Now, if your feet are hurting and it has nothing to do with the exercise, like let's just say you did, one set and your feet are hurting, keep in mind that predominantly human beings have increasingly had more issues with their feet over the years. The introduction of shoes that are very supportive, they're not as rigid, cause problems for our feet as a whole, as a species. So if you have an issue where you need some orthotics in your shoe, or you need some adjustments, or you're flat-footed, like some people I know in my family are flat-footed, some exercises are very difficult for them to do, make sure you get what you need. Don't just push through it, because one, it's going to hurt you, and then two, you're not getting really any benefit from it. So just keep that in mind, and thanks for the question, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode. And always remember who the real enemy is.